Yes, my face might look kind of recognizable. His too. It's the Figure Four podcast. Today we talk so much about what happened to me from Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu. What else we talk about, Wonder?
We talk about the Wyatt Sicks. Are we getting sick of them? SummerSlam coming up. A whole lot more.
And what's the real headline? What's the real headline of SummerSlam? There's so much going on SummerSlam. We'll talk about it. Tune in to the Figure Four podcast. Hey, Wonder, ready? Please to enjoy.
No pukesters helping me to the left, and no pukesters helping me to the right. Didn't need them then, don't need them now.
You are the ex-champion, Olin.
Now this is the way, Tony and David, that you do the Figure Four leg lock.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man. The boys are back in town. Boys are back in town.
Oh, man. Where the fuck have we been?
Yeah, man. It's been a journey. Should we start off with where we have been? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Wonder. You go ahead and tell the people how you cursed me, how you the one that did this to me, how you're the one that put the bad juju out there for me.
So as many of you who listen to this may remember, I hurt my back the last time we were on here, which was, God, at this point, it feels like a month ago.
Yeah.
And I was talking about my back issue and it was, I just tweaked it, right? I had tweaked my back. I'm fine now. I'm great now. I was good a couple days after that. But that day it was that day and the day before I was in a little bit of pain. So I had talked about that. And well, now we transfer to what Dre's been doing.
Wonder is a horror film
yeah,
lover, and I think you drew up the perfect horror film for a movie. The man that had a slight tweak in his back, that did a podcast with his best friend, his best pal, and he decided he wanted to transfer the evil through the camera onto me, little old me. Dre, he's living his life. He has plans for life. He has, appointments scheduled. He's ready to do this thing. He's doing things to help his career. He's helping his family. He's helping his friends. And he put a curse on me and threw out my back.
Mm-hmm.
Circa July 5th, 2024. Yeah, man, I was down and out. Braun Breaker hit me. You might have seen the
He was fined. He was fined.
If you're following us on Instagram, you follow the story. You follow the breadcrumbs that are out there. Braun Breaker put a hurting on me with a nice spear.
Mm-hmm.
Sent me to the ER. Not just one ER, but two ERs.
Not one time, two times.
Twice.
I don't mean to laugh. I don't know why I'm laughing.
Oh man, it's funny now. It's cool now. It's still lingering. I just got done stretching. So shortcomings is to make a story long but short. I was down and out with a pretty bad back injury, herniated disc. I had decompression surgery about 6 years ago. So this was the first time that I've had an actual injury to my back. I've been sore, but not like down and out. Been on anti-inflammatories for the past 3 weeks, and I'm able to sit, I'm able to stand, I'm able to stretch. Haven't tried jogging yet, but that's kind of next on the thing. And yeah, man, it was tough, man. It was a tough go. The first week was oof, and I had some other personal things that happened that made stress even worse. So
yeah, Dre was like, "Fuck this, fuck you, fuck them, fuck wrestling." I'm not doing this shit no more. I don't care. Don't talk to me anymore, you piece of trash. And I was like, all right, man, I'll check on you tomorrow.
He's like, but hey, you're seriously not going to come and watch the pay-per-view? You're not going to watch the PLE with me?
Bring your ass, you pussy. And then I was like, oh, okay, so it really is something. Okay.
Yeah, man. It was tough, man. It was a tough
man, that
go
was
at
money in the bank, right?
It was money in the bank.
Holy moly, that feels like years ago at this point. Jeez.
Dude, I had took some CBD and I was like, oh, let me take something because I don't have drugs in the house. I don't got no I have ibuprofen, but I have, let me take some CBD that was given to me as a sample. Take this and see if it helps my back pain when it first happened. And it didn't. No, it helped a little bit, but no, once I got to the ER, they dosed me up with morphine on top of that. So I'm watching Money in the Bank high off of morphine and just zoning out. I look like one of those zombie creatures that you see on 4 South. It was nuts. It was nuts.
Well, Dre, I'm happy you're feeling better. You're on the road to recovery. Obviously, you know, I've told you about my experience when I messed up my back and how long it's taken. And again, you know, I had a little tweak a month ago now, but you'll get there. You'll be fine. Happy we're back here to talk some wrestling because, you know, the streets have been asking, where's the Figure 4 podcast? And I didn't want to put your business out there. I was just like, he's on the injured list, and we're tag team, and I'm at this point, I'm not going out solo. Okay, just not doing it.
True friend, can't do that.
Yep.
Real tag team. I know that the streets was talking. What did the streets say? Was the streets talking garbage on us or what?
So, you know, we take shots from time to time. Shots are thrown at us. We never do the shot throwing at the beginning because that's not who we are. Okay, that's not who we are. I want everyone to be successful. Oh yeah, shout out to Monster, Cypher Sounds, you know the deal, and kombucha. But we get shots thrown at us often, and that's what's to be expected when you're the king of the hill, when you're the #1 wrestling podcast in Utah. It happens, and that's okay. But you know, for two guys, you know, to be in a stuffy room together and all of a sudden be like, well, they don't even watch wrestling. Why do they even have a wrestling podcast? Why don't you have one? Hi, I'm Angel. Hi, I'm Brian. Both you shut the hell up. Okay. That's all we need to say about that. Angel from How Did It Get So Good and DJ Bad Boy Brian. Listen, love Brian, right? Great guy. Angel's okay. He's there. But I don't need to hear any more yapping about the Figure 4 podcast in a negative light on your platform. So that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. If it happens again, you two jabronis will feel the wrath.
Yeah, we're going to run up in that stuffy ass little office, smack the taste out of both of your mouths while you're drinking the goddamn seltzers I brought a year and a half ago. Okay? You nasty bitches.
Dirty vato. We will talk about wrestling here shortly. Yeah. But I also want to throw a shout out to everybody that had shown me some, you know, good love, good energy. My wife, my son, they've been helping me out a lot. My doctors, my physical therapist, Wonder.
Yep.
Well, I was going to say, why don't you get into that? You should have went to school for physical therapy.
If I, you know, when I was younger and I was making a decision on what I wanted to do in life, which God, 18, you know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, I wasn't thinking, I didn't work out a lot back then. You know, I just woke up with a great bod and, you know, figure and all that back then. So I wanted to go into radio like you know, I went to school for radio initially, and then I dropped out of school, went back and thought I need something that I can use right now. So hence why I got the degree I did. But yeah, physical therapy, physical fitness. I mean, that my wife got her degree in sports, health, medicine, education, something like that. But she's using it at her job. So she knows a lot about all kinds of things in that realm. And I just kind of, you know, get it from her. Listen to her. So, but I would have loved to have done that. If I could go back, I'd probably would do something like that.
I mean, it's not too late. It ain't like you
never too late. Never too late.
Get a little nutrition certificate, get a little physical certificate, and go out there and fucking heal the world.
Yeah. Oh, and back to the real quick. One more thing I failed to mention. Taking shots at me because I'm out there doing workouts on a Sunday. I don't know if you saw that part of that stupid ass podcast.
Nah, I turned it off.
They were like, and then he's out there doing workouts on Sundays. Like, hey, where's everyone at? Oh, I'm sorry, I had to DJ. Or Angel's like, I'm sorry, I was playing with myself way too late at night and didn't wake up. Just leave me be. Just don't poke the bear. You saw what happened to Drake when he did what he did to Kendrick. Okay.
Bingo.
Don't get draped. Don't get not like us, gentlemen.
Dun,
Okay?
dun,
This is the
dun,
only
dun.
time. This is the last time I'm saying shit.
Dun, 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 dun. They not like us. They not like us. So, man, should we talk some wrestling? A lot has happened from the last time that we talked. Not much with the bloodline. I feel like we've had the last same ending with the bloodline storyline for the last 4 months. I mean, 4 weeks.
4 months. Yeah. For the last, since you hurt your back, it's basically we get them putting someone through a table or I mean, we're gonna get to SummerSlam. SummerSlam is this Saturday, which is wild.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see what happens at SummerSlam. I'm just gonna leave it at that for our preview. But yeah, bloodline. Jacob Fatu just on a tear, right? I think he may at some point be too big for the bloodline. That part of the bloodline, or this iteration rather. I'm excited to see where that story goes. But yeah, other than that, it's just kind of, I mean, they're gonna probably win the tag titles on Friday at SmackDown, I would imagine.
Already?
You gotta. Fatu is, I mean, unless there is some sort of interference by
Jimmy.
Uso, yeah. Otherwise, they got to win it. You have to. They are dominant. They're, DIY. I've grown to like DIY, but I just feel like that's next for them.
We've often talked about that division, right? The men's tag team division, and how there's no excitement there, right?
Yeah.
Does that excitement come from putting the belts on Fatu and Tama Tonga?
I mean, I think so. You think about how good the tag division was when it was on the Usos. There was always somebody coming after them. We got the Sammy and KO storyline at that time. I think it gives two dominant people those tag belts, and then everyone else can chase.
The Usos had chemistry though. Like they just put Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu together. Let's not forget Jacob Fatu. This is his first time on the big stage. There was no buffer. This is his debut to the world. And you hit on something that I've been thinking about since he's been around. I mean, he's the number 1 draft pick. He's the number 1 recruit. He's the guy that we've all been waiting for, and now he is here. And I feel like the audience, he hasn't given the audience anything to grab. There's nothing there yet, right?
I mean, for me, from a character standpoint, is that what you mean?
Absolutely. I mean, he's a phenomenal athlete, but there's no catchphrase. There's no saying. There's nothing there. He keeps on doing the same look every time. Like, he's just a wild animal. He's a wild beast, and I get it. But at the same time, like I feel like we need some character development. I love you. He keeps on saying how much he loves Solo Sikoa. Like, come on, man, come into your own. Let's hear let's hear your personality. Let's grab onto something that we want from you, right? The tribal chief gave us the former tribal chief gave us acknowledge me, right? Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso gave us right? They gave us something to hold on to and something to anticipate. There's nothing from Jacob Fatu's side, and there's nothing like that from Tama Tonga's side. So I just see them holding tag titles. Is this their way of getting Tonga Loa jealous, right? Because him and Tonga Loa, the Tongans, they were tag brothers, right? They were champions in different leagues. Like, I just feel like putting the belts on them right now, it does a disservice to DIY, who has a lot of chemistry, who has put in a lot of work, and who actually is, I feel like, a front runners to hold up that division.
So, backpedaling a little bit, I was hoping, before they had the Tonga Loa injury, that it was going to be Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. Was my hope for that, because they do have history. Now, their characters, like you said, same with Jacob, the characters aren't all there, like, as far as what people care about, or finding something that they can latch onto, fans, that is. But I just want if we're going to, I say we as in I'm sitting there with Paul Levesque making plans for this WWE throughout the rest of the year. If we're going to have this be a dominant faction, they need some gold, right? They need some straps around their waist. So I don't see them getting involved in any other pictures outside of the heavyweight championship with Cody and the tag titles. Like as far as in the next couple of months, right? Because this is all going to lead to Survivor Series, everything that we have going now, and the inevitable return of Roman and all of that. I think you just got to put some gold on them, and why not the tag titles? And DIY can chase, or maybe it's not even that. I don't know. I just feel like they just need something, because we can't just keep getting them to powerbomb somebody through a table at the end of every SmackDown.
I mean, Jacob Fatu put on his best performance on Friday.
Who's fire?
The pop-up Samoan drop. Yeah, I mean, we see the big moves off of the jumping moonsault. No hands. Do it with no hands. Cue Roscoe Dash.
Mm-hmm.
Like he really showed up on Friday. Right. We need something. I personally don't think it's the tag titles that does it. What are you gonna do? Just load them up with titles? Does Solo beat Cody at SummerSlam? Like, come on, you can't.
I mean, he shouldn't.
He shouldn't. No. And I don't know. It's a little annoying for me, because you have great tags like even though they're on Raw, but you have like the Creed brothers that like that's a great tag team.
Great tag team, awful outfits. They need something there. They need to just tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, I was texting you. I feel like they're not doing them service. I think that they're gonna fall into the Austin Theory bucket, where you have tremendous talent, you have a great thing, but you're just at the wrong time in this industry.
Let's before we move on to the Creed brothers, because we need to talk about them and what's going on with the Wyatts. We need to shout out our a Bloodline member that's here in Salt Lake City, right? Can we give some claps?
Yes.
To the gentleman who's just out here in this scene, in the music scene, who created a intro for one Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, dog. So rewind to like episode.
Hey, and sometimes this happens. Out goes DreRawka, and now I'm solo. But let's bring him back in. Hey, there he is. Hey, I'm going to move out so you can move back.
Were we recorded this whole time?
Yeah, we're recording.
Okay. Sorry,
yeah, I talked about you leaving. I was like, and there he goes, and now I'm solo. I have no choice but to be solo.
Sorry, I don't know. The internet's weird sometimes. So, yeah, if you want to rewind to like episode 3 or 4, maybe even 5 of the Figure 4 podcast, there was talks of me saying that I did something really cool. So, man, about 2-3 months ago, I am at a boxing gym with my son. He's doing his boxing class, and I get a text from none other than Bobby B. Mac, our brother Bobby B. And Bobby hits me with, "Yo, do you know who Jacob Fatu is?" That's all it said. Not a good morning, not a good afternoon. Dre, how you doing? Yo, do you know Jacob Fatu? I'm like, I text him back, because GCW, and they just announced that they were coming to Salt Lake City at that time.
Right.
And Jacob has wrestled on GCW. And I was like, yeah, dog, absolutely. Only the number 1 prospect in pro wrestling. This is the guy that we all have been waiting for. Yes. I wrote all that, right? And then he calls me right away. He's like, "Hey, bro." And Bobby's he's not into it like us, right? So Bobby's like, "Hey, I wanted to see if you wanted to come by the studio." And I was like, "Tonight? I'm at boxing." He's like, "Yeah, man, we're like at 9 o'clock. It's like 6 o'clock, right?" I'm like, yeah, for what? What do you need? Some camera work? You want to do an interview or something? He's like, "No, we talked to Jacob Fatu's people and from the WWE, and they want me to do his intro song." I was like, I literally paused. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, "I know that you're into this stuff, and I would love for you to be involved and be there." And I was like, "Say no more. What's the address? Send address right now."
Yeah.
Boom. Send location. I tell Tavian, I'm like, yo, great opportunity. We got to leave boxing. I'm going to drop you off at home. I'm going to make dinner, and then I'm jetting to the studio. He's like, what's happening? What's going on? I was like, Bobby, he wanted me to come and do some music stuff with him. He was like, Dad, I thought you retired. I said, after Dame Pinocha, son, I'm not rapping no more. So I go to the studio. Shout out to I think it's maybe Red Light Studio. Chris is the engineer. And so I go, and it's literally right behind my dad's house over in the Granary Glendale district over there. And I go, and as always, Bobby's late. And so I'm just sitting in this dark parking lot underneath an overpass. It's sketchy. Some dudes over there, like, bum is like, going through the recycling bin. I'm like, Bobby, are you almost here? I'm like, Vanu, where are you at? I need you guys here, man. I'm alone. Anyway, so we go to the studio, and they sent the reference track, and we're listening to this reference, and I'm like, this is gonna be hard, bro. This is dope. And he's a musician, right? So he's like, all right, like, this is cool, I guess, but it's not what he's used to, right? He's not used to doing what we did for it's an entrance song, right? So you need the boom right in their face. This is who we are. And he's going through the Samoan chants, right? Tasi, Tua, Lu, Alu. And I'm like, dog, this is gonna be the one. This is the one that captures. It's just like Cody Rhodes, right? We all know the whoa, and Jey Uso. We all know the it's just me, Oos, day one. We all know like these chants and these songs. And so it's a studio session. It's just me. Bobby's in the booth. We got the engineer. I'm taking photos, I'm taking videos. I'm like, dog, this is a moment. You're gonna, because we see guys that go to WrestleMania. Rhea Mommy Ripley is one of them, right? She had her entrance song was played with the band at WrestleMania. I was like, dog, you don't realize how big of an opportunity this is. You have an opportunity to make a song for one of it's like LeBron James coming to the NBA. You're doing a theme song for a rookie prospect that has all the potential in the world, that is going to the number one storyline in the number one company in pro wrestling in the world. This is your music's gonna be played in front of millions over the television sets, on the video game, at live events. Like, this is a huge opportunity. Like, as I'm telling him this, you could tell he's getting more and more excited about it. We end up having a great studio session, and it's just really, man, all applause to Roses on the Moon, because for us, our little town, our little city called Salt Lake City, we continue to fight for this little piece of a big pie. And this was just another opportunity for us. This is a win for us. And man, I can't be prouder of those guys to take the opportunity, because it to do something different like this, it takes courage, right? Because your reputation's on the line. Oh, are you gonna just be the entrance theme song guy? Or their music is so much different from what they totally just put different out. So man, it's great opportunity, great a thing for the city. And if you are somebody in Salt Lake City, be fucking proud of our guys.
And if you're outside of Salt Lake City, outside of Utah, and you're not familiar with Bobby Vanu, Roses on the Moon, make sure you check him out. Easily one of my favorite groups, acts, artists here. Bobby's been doing it a very long time, and it's really cool to see the growth. But man, when you had let me know about it, I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. And then when I heard it on there, I was like, wow, that travels, that's everywhere. That's so dope.
I got chills. You saying that just gave me chills. All this time, man, you have to keep this secret, right? Because there's NDAs and stuff. And once Vanu was like, yo, yeah, you can talk about it, I was like, man, we got to tell the world. Like, the world needs to know about these two Samoan dudes that are just making phenomenal music, and now they got a great opportunity.
Yeah, very dope. I need to get with those guys soon and ball them up or something like that, because I see they post those videos.
Yeah, they were late because they were hooping.
Hey, ball is life, baby. Ball is life. Let's move on to the Wyatt Sicks, Creed brothers, everything we have going on there. I've had this thought the past little while, and this is going to roll into two thoughts together. Okay. First off, Why doesn't Jey Uso have a match at SummerSlam? I was talking last time we recorded about how he's the most over guy, and I don't 1000% get it. But if he's the top, essentially the top guy as far as being over in the company, he doesn't have a match. He could have something with Dom, right? And they got to stop playing with Dom, man. Dom can wrestle. It just seems like they just keep him in these storylines with Liv and Rhea, which has been great, but let him fucking wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the Wyatt Sicks, they are 100% a babyface faction, which is kind of crazy to me. I had the theory that they should be going after Jay before we found out what was going on. So now we get them with the Creed brothers, with Shoosh. I really miss that because that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Shoosh. But I feel like Raw last night, they come out at the end of the match. They take off their masks, and which is fine, but also we didn't get everyone's videos, right? The little VHS tapes that tell about these people. I would have loved for that to happen prior to them coming out and just taking off their masks and beating up the Creed brothers. I don't understand why we haven't truly finished that Otis storyline, and why this feels like almost like a fumble, the first real fumble on Triple H's part with the Wyatt Sicks. Fans can love them. Fans can love heels. I love heels, right? We all do. But for them to be like legit baby faces, and we have a lot of empathy for them because of what they lost, which, and it's all real. That's real shit.
Mm-hmm.
Losing Bray. But I just feel it's like, damn, I feel like this is a missed opportunity to have them do something bigger. And people can say, well, Jay's going to be involved in this bloodline storyline as it rolls on, which is fine. But right now, we're missing an opportunity to have the Wyatts or someone, Uncle Howdy, whomever, go against Jay at SummerSlam, which is the biggest show of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Your most over guy, your most over faction at the moment, regardless of them being now super baby faces. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know where I stand with this, but I don't love it. Like, what are your thoughts on that whole I just spit out?
Well, I think you're right. I think last night was the fumble, and for me, you went a lot more deeper than me. I just thought the wrestling was crap. I thought the wrestling was garbage.
I think the rock bottoms that were delivered.
No, it was awful. It was sloppy. It wasn't done. It wasn't executed right. The power bomb onto Chad Gable, not good. Nikki Cross had the best thing off the top rope, and we didn't even see her. You know what I mean? We didn't even see Sister Abigail, which Michael Cole announced that was Sister Abigail. So for me, it wasn't even that deep. It was just the wrestling was horrible. At least when we seen Uncle Howdy hit the Sister Abigail, it was nice. The kiss on the forehead. Oh, there you are, right?
And
like
the way Gable took that. Holy shit.
Sold it perfect. Like that was awesome. Like that was the perfect way to see him active in the ring. Last night, I think it was a fumble, like you said. That's why I put on the Instagram at Figure the Number 4 podcast on Instagram. That's why I put mask on or mask off, because once they took those masks off, it wasn't scary no more. It wasn't. I wasn't intrigued.
Yeah.
Like Dexter Loomis with the X on his head. Like what did CM Punk get a hold of him or what? Like what's the X about? It just wasn't there for me. And a lot of that, I think, is because we don't know their story. We didn't see the rest of their tapes. And on top of that, I understand that you probably can't take as long as you did with Bo and Uncle Howdy to tell the rest of these stories. But for me, I wasn't captivated. Yeah. And the wrestling was sloppy. It wasn't there for me. And how long are we going to do the piano? How much longer are we going to keep doing the piano, the
lights out?
Yeah, how much longer are we going to do that before it's played out and before we get tired of it? Not saying I'm tired of the Wyatt Sicks, but saying that there has to be something more to this. And I don't know if the Creed brothers, and again, going back to the Creed brothers, I think this is a disservice for their path and their story, because I feel like they're just going to be another body to take a bump, you know?
When
they have actual talent.
Yeah, I feel like if it was done the right way, it could elevate the Creed brothers. But right now, they're just kind of like bland heels that really aren't like super heelish yet, right? But again, to me, it goes back to like this dark, scary faction. They shouldn't. I mean, if you don't want them to be heels, that's fine. They shouldn't be heel or babyface. Like to me, they should be coming out and just attacking everyone. If they're the Gable thing, to me, it was like Gable Otis that had so much heat. That was so great, and then we never got a payoff from it. We never got a payoff match. Rather, all of a sudden, the Wyatts are coming after Gable, and they talk about like leaving your family, but like, I don't know, man. It's kind of I feel like they really fumbled this because everything rolling up was great, right? We get the little videos, little stories. It's like, oh, I'm going to free them, blah, 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 blah. And even the VHS tapes have been good. But yes, if we're going to make these guys not just dark entities, but human beings as well, we needed to hear Gacy and Loomis's story, the video, how they tie in, like why do they tie in? Because we don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm let down. I haven't given up on it, but I'm super, super let down since the last time we talked on here.
Yeah.
Because you know me, I was hyped over this Wyatt shit. And it's just kind of, and they can only do this for so long.
Exactly.
Where they come out, beat up Gable, beat up the Creed brothers. It's like, I don't know. I really, really, really wish it was just them going at Jey Uso, the biggest guy, you know, who doesn't have a title. So there's no title implications to them. And then that can be over after it's over, and he can then roll into that bloodline storyline. But now it's just like, well, who gives a shit? Like, you ruined the Otis story, and now, but they're still trying to play with that too. But it's like it's secondary to this Wyatt thing that doesn't even really make sense.
Yeah, what do you do now? Do you go and capture Maxine and hold her against her will, and Otis has to fight back? But then how do you tie in that? Does Otis get a tag team partner from the Wyatt Sicks? Like, yeah, how does that? I don't know, man. There's a lot there. But one thing that we have to agree upon is that we've been in this moment. We've been in this moment with the bloodline. We've been in this moment with so many other stories, and we have to take the pledge, and in Levesque we trust. We have to trust this process and understand that there's going to be something brighter over this, you know?
Yeah. One other fumble before I get to something I really like since the last time we talked.
R-Truth joining the Wyatt Sicks.
Why? I know you don't like this guy, right? But Bobby Lashley needs to be in somewhat of a storyline at some point, and it looks like he's just going to be gone.
No, because I love the Street Profits right now.
He doesn't even need to be with the Street Profits.
Where do you put him though? What is he? He can't go the McIntyre route. He can't go the Priest route. He can't go for Cody.
Why not bring? I think MVP still on the roster. Why not bring MVP back? Bring Bobby back, and they could go for anything. U.S. title after this whole thing is done with Logan and LA Knight, which I think LA Knight's going to win it, but we'll get to that in a minute. Why not throw him in that picture or the IC title? Like, if it's Breaker beating Sammy, or who gives a shit if it's just him and Sammy, or throw him into the world heavyweight title picture with Gunther after he wins it. Obviously, you need time to tell that story.
Yeah,
but it's just a missed opportunity. Another one, 3 that I have since the last time we talked: the Wyatts, Jay not having a match again. Could throw him in with Dom. Jay headlined SummerSlam last year. Most over guy you have on the whole roster. Throw him in with Dom in a match, like, because they have that story going to where, you know, he wanted mommy and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
At least give us something, and stop disrespecting Dom, because he can fucking go, and put Bobby in a storyline where it looks like he's just going to be gone.
I can't agree with you, because I'm okay with Bobby Lashley being nowhere near anybody's storyline.
Let me tell you something. If he goes to AEW, he's the biggest star there.
But nobody's going to watch that.
Nobody watches it anyways. Exactly.
What, we going to get a hardcore match with Bobby Lashley hitting people with Frying pans.
Speaking of, shout out to Drew McIntyre taking that picture with Dylan's son, Dylan from 90210's son, Jungle Boy or whatever it called. That was that was great. That was really good.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah. One thing that I've loved though, Dre, I haven't hated everything. I've loved a lot of things, right? I love the Baszler, Stark, DeVille trio.
The Sister Scissors.
Yeah.
Sisters.
What Zelina Vega called them Team Forehead. That was very funny. But they have me kind of excited about the women's division because all of them can go. They are legit badasses, all three of them. So I'm excited to see where that goes. I hope they don't keep them at this, like, mid card tugging away a little. And why I've always said this: there needs to be some type of mid card title for the women's division. There's enough talented women that I don't know what you call it, similar to the Intercontinental or the U.S. title, right? But for the women, like they could do that. They have the tag, they have the champion, they're the two champions. Give them one more. And I know I should talk shit about AEW and all 78 of their belts, but I think it would elevate some storylines at the mid card for the women.
I agree. I love the transition with Zoe Stark, man. She got rid of the blonde. She has this like Phoenix hair thing going on. DeVille can go. Baszler can go. I love this feud that they have with they call them the Party Birds with Valkyria, who doesn't have no rhythm. I feel bad for Valkyria because
it's tough.
Kate, what's her name? Kaden. Forget her last name.
No, not Kaden. It's hold on, I had it in my notes.
She be moving her hips.
Katana. Oh yeah, Kaden and Katana. And Lyra. Yeah.
Kaden be moving her hips, and then Valkyria was like trying to move her hips too, but she couldn't. But that tag team, they switched them from the after party, but that tag team, they can really, really wrestle. And I love to see where this is at. Damage Control's back. They're letting their voice be heard. Yeah. The women's division has been solid for years now, and it just keeps building. It just keeps building. I love it. And even in NXT, like what's her name? The current women's champion, Roxanne.
I don't watch a lot of that.
Oh yeah, my bad. Roxanne's dope though.
I see the clips though. The clip of what's her name you put up. She looks like a great wrestler.
They get busy, but I am with you. And I've been saying this. You haven't been a believer, but Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, that's them.
Tough, man. Tough. I'm excited for that faction. Why don't we do this, Dre? Because we have a lot to cover as far as SummerSlam goes.
Yeah.
Let's do our wrestler of the week.
Okay.
Our weeks.
Hey, can we pause real quick?
Yeah.
Braun Breaker. Do we see Jey Uso and Braun Breaker have a feud? Is that something that we might see? Where it's like, yo, you I didn't catch you the first time. I caught you the second time, and now me and you need to get it busy. Is this something that we see in the future? Maybe Jay tries to go after the Intercontinental Championship.
Maybe like to try to. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe later. But I think we're getting ready to get into the thick of some Bloodline 1.0 versus Bloodline 2.0 type of stuff. Okay. So I don't think, that's why they have Jay just dangling out there, like in a somewhat storyline with Dom, but we're not going to see a match. It'll be just like the shit with Otis and how that just got blown over. But I'm going to stop whining and bitching about stuff I don't like. Right. But yeah, so
SummerSlam.
Oh, let's do wrestlers of the
of the weeks.
I have two options, but I'm gonna let you go first, so I don't do the same one as you.
I'm gonna be honest, man. Nobody has really impressed me.
Oh,
there hasn't been a clear cut wrestler that I'm like, yo, this is great. Even Mommy hasn't got busy. She hasn't really cut too many great promos.
She's got busy.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Gotta be one of the most. Never mind.
I guess if I have to, which I do, I'm gonna say Damian Priest. I feel like Damian Priest has stepped up.
That piece of street trash, as my King Gunther calls him. Go ahead.
Yeah, he says, and if you're talking about a Boricua from New York, that's me. And I'm here. Yeah. He brought the fight to Gunther, one of the scariest guys in the WWE, who is pound for pound the best guy on the roster, one of the best guys on the roster. For him to step out and be like, no, I don't need the help of the Judgment Day. I don't need anybody. I'm coming to you and I'm gonna lay hands on you. And he did it multiple times. Drug his ass through the whole back. They're really hyping this up. And I was telling Tavian, my 10-year-old son, that I am now really excited for Priest Gunther going into Saturday. So for that, I'm gonna say Damian Priest.
Okay.
You've I think that you have solidified why you hold that belt, and I think you have solidified why you are truly the leader of the Judgment Day.
That's really good. I like that. I didn't have Damian on here, but I do like that. He is, from when he won the title, cashing in that briefcase, in my head, I was like, there's no way. This is awful. But he's definitely grown as a performer and on the mic. So I can't hate on that. My pick, I don't think anyone would say, like if I said, hey, who has had the best month in wrestling? I don't know if anyone's going to say this guy, but I want to give him Wrestler of the Week.
What? Hold on. What show? Let me try to guess.
Raw.
You better not say Otis.
No.
Tozawa. No, I was waiting. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to give it to Sheamus. And here's why. He's gotten back in shape. It's no more burger after burger after burger. It looks like he's really gotten to the point, and that probably pissed him off. Is probably why. He probably was like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not taking that. But year 15, he's wrestling. He's putting on some of the toughest matches. We've had him against Bronson Reed twice, which was great. Drew, since we last recorded, him and Bronson Reed twice, him and Drew and Dragunov, and all of those matches, you feel them when you're watching him. You're like, God damn. For him to put on these matches, and this storyline with Pete Dunne, that's going to be wild. That's just going to be them beating the shit out of each other. So for that reason, him having these great matches 3 weeks straight, the Pete Dunne, where we're going with that, him getting back to Sheamus form, and he's been in it for a while, man, and just delivering week after week after week, like. That's who I'm going with since we last spoke. There's a lot of options, right? People would say Jacob Fatu, you were great with Damian Priest. But like you said, a lot of people, Rhea, we haven't really seen much of her as far as in the ring goes. So yeah, I'm going with my pasty Irish cousin, Sheamus.
Yeah, man. Even though he didn't get the win last night, that side slam from the top rope on Big Bronson Reed 360. Oh my gosh. Woo!
He's so strong. He's so
hurt
strong.
my back.
Yeah.
I was telling Wifey, I wonder where he stacks up as far as being who's the strongest guys in WWE, who can bench the most. I would say Sheamus is probably in top 5, top 10 for sure.
Yeah,
but
Sheamus is up there. I know back when Cesaro was still in WWE, they would talk about those two guys just being ridiculously strong and how much they could, bench, squat, all of that shit. So yeah, he's got to be up there for sure.
I like that. Pete Dunne though. Pete Dunne's.
Oh man, they're just gonna beat the hell out of each other. Like it's like what more do you want?
What
two
happened?
Foreigners.
Yeah, right.
Beating the shit out of each other.
What happened to his boy though? His tag team partner.
He gone.
He was good. I like.
Yeah,
him.
He was fine. But that's probably going to be what Bash at Berlin. We'll get that payoff. At least get that match. So excited for that. But we're not at Bash at Berlin yet. We are at SummerSlam, the biggest show of the summer. Cleveland. Why wouldn't you put it in Cleveland? You know what I mean?
I can give you the biggest 36 shows. Reasons.
Nonetheless, let's get into the card. I will give you a match. You give me your prediction, okay? And I'll give you mine.
Cool.
Let's start out with the WWE Women's Championship, Bayley versus Nia Jax.
I think, man, this is something, again, no disrespect to Bayley. I love Bayley. I love Nia Jax, but it's a snooze fest, man. There's nothing that is I'm not invested in this story at all. It's not there for me. I feel like Tiffy Time wants to cash in. And so I'm really hesitant on saying that Nia's going to win because Nia can't cash in against, Tiffy can't cash in against Nia. So I'm going to say Bayley wins and that will make Tiffy, her little ears perk up and say, oh, I can still get this belt. I'm going to cash in behind Nia's back. And then that's what will cause the feud between Nia and Tiffy. So I'm gonna say Bailey retains her belt.
I'm going to say Bailey retains as well. And the way you wake people up is putting on an alarm clock for the right time. And I think now the biggest show of the summer, Tiffany Stratton cashes in after with the help of Nia. I think Nia still helps her. And we get her cashing in and winning the title. But I do think Bailey wins the match. And I think you tell that Nia Tiffy story throughout the next couple of months, right? Like, I don't think they turn on each other quite yet. I think it's Bailey coming back to chase, and then we get the eventual Tiffy Nia, feud. But that's what I'm going with as well. So,
Hell yeah.
Next match, U.S. title, LA Knight versus the champ Logan Paul. Logan from Cleveland, I think, right?
Yeah, he's an Ohio boy.
Yeah. So, what do you got here?
I got to go with Mr. Yara, but I don't know if Logan loses in Ohio, in his home city, his home state, and he has the prime thugs around. I don't know who has recently.
Sounds wild.
Yeah, the little prime thugs. Who just signed to Prime? Was it not Terrence Crawford? Somebody just signed to Prime. Or
There's
something.
A lot of this. Patrick Mahomes. I don't know.
Yeah, who's a Cleveland Brown that? What's his name?
I don't think any Myles Garrett. There's absolutely that'd be terrifying. Plus, they're all in camps and it's preseason, so it's got to be something else.
They can't do it. So maybe a Cavalier, maybe Donovan Mitchell. I don't know. Maybe
Spida jumps over and punches.
Adidas.
Maybe.
What is Adidas on? I don't know. Regardless, I think that LA Knight and Logan puts on a great match, but I don't see LA Knight winning. I think Logan Paul retains his belt.
I think this is the perfect time for LA Knight to win the title. Yeah, because again, I think last episode I said he was overrated, and I still believe that. But all the eyes, it's kind of a weird time for this because the Olympics, that's a big day for the Olympics too. But nonetheless, a lot of eyes will be on SummerSlam, and I think they give that to LA Knight. Logan Paul loses, takes some time off, comes back closer to Survivor Series. Because you need that U.S. title. You need it to be more frequent, be on TV. And Logan Paul has done more, but I think it's time where it moves to somebody else.
All right.
Yeah. Titles. So many titles up for
a lot
grabs.
of them.
IC title match. Sami Zayn, who is a champion, versus Braun Breaker and Ilya Dragunov.
It's a triple threat?
That's what threw me off because I was watching and I swear it was just Breaker, but everywhere I looked said versus Ilya Dragunov. So
I don't know if that's true because they didn't mention that last night at all. They didn't Dragunov at all. You would think that if Dragunov is, and it's the last promo before Saturday, so you would think that if Dragunov is going to be there, he would have showed up last night.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, if it's a triple threat, we'll do two scenarios. I think both of them don't matter. I think Sammy wins. No, I don't know, man. I want Sammy to win, but I don't know.
Scratch that. They updated it to just Braun. I did this last night, so I wonder if something happened. Okay.
All right. So
there goes bad boy Brian. You don't even watch wrestling. Shut up, Brian.
Shut up. I think Braun Breaker is going to win that title. I think Sami Zayn put on a great performance last night. He's not lacking. He knows that Braun Breaker is going to bring all of what he can. And I think Braun Breaker, he said it. This dude's a comedian. I wasn't expecting a wrestler. I expected a comedian. So I think Braun Breaker is going to put a real hurting on Sammy. And I think they get that belt off of Sammy.
This is so tough for me because I think the logical answer is to give Breaker that belt. But if that is the case, then I have 3 titles in a row changing, and that doesn't happen. Because there is another title that's going to be, there's going to be more titles I have changing. I'm going to go with Sammy by hook or by crook. Something's going to happen there where he retains that title. We get Braun Breaker maybe finally snapping, really losing his shit because he just can't beat this nerdy fucking comedian from Canada. And maybe he just goes on a tear even more, which we know what happened last time he went on a tear. We were we didn't have a podcast for 4 weeks. So
me and Ricochet's been in the LOA or MIA.
LOA. So I'm gonna go with Sammy retaining. To me, it makes sense for Breaker to win it, but I don't know. I just feel like there's more to be told here.
All right.
Women's World Championship. Liv, by the way. Once this shit goes to Netflix, I don't know. I can't even imagine what they're going to be saying, because they've been getting away with some stuff on regular cable TV that shit. But anyway,
I love that Liv is just down though. Like,
yeah,
obviously these athletes, they have a right to say no to certain things in the story and not to do certain things, right? But Liv is like, it just seems like Liv's like, let's do it, let's have a blast, let's have fun.
Get out here, say I'm a screamer, I'm wearing these shorts. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, I feel like Rikishi was right. Jay, stay away from that storyline. Jay over here. It sounds like Jay has a history too. So
stay
away.
Don't let it happen.
Mommy, Liv Morgan.
Who you got?
Man, based upon what we've been doing, this storyline, I feel like Liv is truly and honestly gonna bring hell Saturday. And this is the first time Rhea's back. I feel like Rhea has ring rust. I feel like Liv is gonna win. She's gonna walk out and keep that title around her waist.
I feel like the only way that happens, Dre, is if Dom turns on Rhea, like really turns on her and the Judgment Day and rolls with Liv. But I don't think that's going to happen. Like, the mommy Dom thing has had heat for fucking as long as since it started, right? So I'm going to go with Rhea on this. I think she gets her title back. The thing that's going to be weird, though, if that does happen, my prediction comes true of her winning, like, they could probably tell a few more stories with Liv, right? Like, she can text messages or whatever, like, get back to the old or a picture, like get back to the Ric Flair, Miss Elizabeth Macho Man storytelling, where like, oh yeah, well, here we are outside of the pool, or she's feeding me strawberries, all that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I got to go with Rhea. Like, she is a star. She is the star. And I think her having that belt, just, the women's division is great, like we said, but I think it just elevates it so much more.
You don't feel like Liv Morgan elevates the belt?
Not to what Rhea does.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard, man. She's
amazing athlete. Yeah. She's the hottest goth girl I've ever seen in my life. Right.
Yeah, man. She got all the heat, bro.
Yeah.
She got all the heat. And to be honest with you, when's the last time we felt this? When's the last time we felt this from the women's division as far as one athlete?
Yeah.
To this capacity.
I don't think I can't think of a time.
Right.
Like Attitude Era. I don't even know about that time. Like,
but I also think that Rhea chasing the belt too, I feel like it can also bring more heat, and she could keep a story going. Rhea holding the belt and then having others come up and try to beat her. I don't know if it's as compelling.
I just think I think the belt needs to go back on her, and I think we need to get Charlotte to come back and challenge for that belt. That's the match that I saw it with my own two eyes. WrestleMania 39 live. Shout out to my wife for taking me. But Rhea, Charlotte Flair, like, I think that's where we go next after we finish the Liv storyline. And Liv has been great. Don't get me wrong, but it's more from a storytelling perspective than just what she can do in ring, right? Mm-hmm. Liv is a good, all these people we're talking about are great wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to say I could do better than any of them because I couldn't, because I don't wrestle.
Yeah.
But I think we need Rhea to win, and then we get the Charlotte Rhea. Like, that's will be the shit,
I can't wait for them to work Bianca back up there. I can't wait for Asuka to come back.
Exactly, man. It's such a deep division. It's like,
Yeah.
but bring Flair back, give us that match. Like, oh, you've been doing this while I've been out. That's cute, whatever. But
We haven't even had a chance to see Jade go in singles. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much that I feel bad for Paul because Mr. Levesque, your hands are tied with a lot of superstars. But
it's a gift
good
and a
problem.
Curse. Gift and a curse, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Because I bitched for 15 minutes about what I don't like. Next match, undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa.
This is your headline, right? This would be our headline, right?
Oh my God, I don't know. If you want to ask me what I think the main event should be, and it's not even a title match, it's Punk and Drew. That has the most heat with Seth as the ref. I think that
adding Seth in there, that's what really did it for me.
Like, I don't think you can put Cody Solo main event. I mean, my dog Gunther, he is the one, but that's not going to be your main event. Him and Priest. Like, I feel like Punk and Drew, which we'll get to here in a minute, with Seth as the ref, I think that's the match. But yeah,
Solo, Cody Rhodes, Bloodline are there, right? Bloodline will be there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming Randy will probably be around. Randy will probably be in the building somewhere. KO will probably be around or in the building somewhere. Yeah. So I'm thinking Solo, Cody. I don't know if you I don't know. I think you kind of alluded to this, or you said it. Bloodline needs titles. Bloodline needs gold. Does Solo get it off of Cody? I don't see it happening. I don't think it happens. It wouldn't surprise me if it does by way of the Bloodline. I think it's going to be, not to say I don't have a lot of faith in Solo. I just, I don't have a lot of faith in Solo.
Yeah.
So I think Cody holds on to his belt.
Here's my thought. If this is the main event, then Roman's coming back at the end. That's the only reason this is the main event. And I mean, all the reports from months and months ago after Roman left was he was going to appear on the SmackDown before SummerSlam. That was his first scheduled event. They haven't talked about that at all anymore, right? Like, there's nothing. So does he show? I mean, I don't think they have him show up at SmackDown. I think if this is the main event, if we're watching and like, okay, 2 matches left, what's next? Oh, they're like, oh, Punk and Drew and Seth. And it's like, okay, Roman's coming back, right? And I think Cody wins this, but all the shit talking Solo's been doing to Roman, I think it's time. SummerSlam, biggest show, like there's not a bigger show. Like, it feels like SummerSlam has really been like the number 2 PLE, right? Like, you have Mania, obviously. Rumble is great, but it's kind of lackluster from a all matches perspective. Like, the Rumble matches are great. And then SummerSlam, it has so many eyes on it. TKO wants to make a splash. I think Roman comes back after the match is over. Maybe Cody wins, Bloodline's beating the shit out of him, and then you hear the music.
Does Paul Heyman come with him?
I don't know.
I think we get Paul Heyman before we get Roman.
Listen, if I'm Paul Heyman, kayfabe pledge right here, I'm not coming back without Roman and Jimmy.
And a gun.
I am not getting my ass whooped because I'm terrified of the new Bloodline, right?
Yeah.
So I think we hear the music, out comes Roman, whether it be a real, they put hands on each other, or it's just a stare down, like, oh my God, what is going on, right? That would be my one thing. If this is the main event, that's what's happening. Because they're not bringing Roman back like mid-show. It's just not happening.
No, you can't do that.
But either way, Roman comes back or he doesn't come back, Cody's going to win. Because you can't have Solo out here on Good Morning America. And Solo's great, right? I love Solo, but he's not ready for that yet. So, could be the main event. I mean, you're busy that night, right? You're
I'll be at a Fierce Fighting Championship.
Yeah, so I won't text you.
Yeah, my phone's in my pocket the whole night. Wifey's gonna be with me, so I have no reason to even be around my phone. So
Yeah.
I'm
But just know, I'm going to text you the next day around noon. If you
okay.
haven't watched it, I'm spoiling it for you.
Oh no, I'm watching as soon as I get back home.
Okay. Let's get through the next two matches. World Heavyweight Championship match. A lot of heat on this one. Gunther versus Damian Priest, aka the piece of street trash.
Yep.
Okay. You already know who I'm going. I don't even need to say anything. Gunther's winning. Go ahead. You can give your pick.
Gunther will win, and I think this just aligns Finn Balor to get his revenge on Gunther. But while doing that, there's gonna be beef, right? Because Priest is gonna be like, "No, I need my rematch. I need to get back to Gunther," and there's gonna be bickering between those two, and that's when we get Finn and we get Damian to beef. So, Gunther will win Saturday night at SummerSlam.
Perfect. And what I think should be the main event: Punk versus Drew. Seth Rollins is the ref. I mean, the amount of heat on this match is insane. On Raw, they can't hit each other. They can't touch, right? That's been the whole thing. Like, you guys aren't doing any of that until SummerSlam. Then they throw in the wrinkle with Seth as the referee. Like, it gives real, like, it was Taker, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels as the ref. I don't remember what pay-per-view that was. My mind's failing me. But
It might have been Survivor Series, I think.
I'd have to go.
I could be wrong.
What do you think?
I'm really confused on this because I thought we were gonna have a clear outline of what kind of match we were getting. All we got last night was
so stupid.
Yeah, all we got was, hey, I'm the ref. What I say goes. Even if you pin them 1, 2, 3, I might say you have to pin them 6 more times. Like, it could be an I quit match. It can be. It's up to Seth Rollins, and I don't think that's like, how is that fair to both of these guys? Like, how is this match gonna work? Is this a last man standing type of thing, or is Seth just setting it up for himself? And I don't know why Seth is even bothering with this. He should be worrying about what's going on with Gunther and Priest, right? So, to me, I think you get. Damn, I hate to do this, but I think you got to give Punk the win. I think that's the thing that most people won't see Rollins doing, is giving the 1, 2, 3 count to Punk, and McIntyre losing again, and he's gonna be bitter again. I see Punk winning though.
Yeah. My only thought, stepping out of our kayfabe pledge, is that Punk hasn't had a match in WWE in over 10 years. He had the Rumble, but an actual match, right?
Yeah.
It kind of feels like he has to win in that aspect. From a kayfabe aspect, Seth hates Punk a lot more than he hates Drew. Unless there's just going to be some storytelling after this where they're like, actually, you made me mad because you went after him and I wanted to beat him. Like, but that doesn't make sense because Seth was involved in the whole bloodline storyline at that time with Cody at Mania. So either way, I'm excited. I am a bit worrisome for the quality of the match, because as I've talked about Punk, he's had some good matches. He had some good matches in AEW. He hasn't had a match in WWE outside of the Rumble, which is different, right? Like, it's a different type of thing. You have a lot more people in the ring, all that. So I am worried about the quality of the match. I love Drew. I love Seth. I love to hate Punk, right? So I'm just going to go the opposite of you. I think Drew wins this, if I'm staying in my kayfabe mind, and it's because Seth truly hates Punk. We get a storyline of Seth and Punk going forward. Drew then moves on to that. I'm getting a phone call. Sorry, business. Drew then moves on to that title picture against Gunther, and we get those matches. And then Seth and Punk go back and forth, and they do their thing for the next little bit. That's my thought.
Seth is getting Claymored. That's happening.
Yeah, one way or the other, right? Like, whether it's like an accidental one, whether it's after the match, if he screws over Drew, an argument, I don't know. Something's happening there. Yeah.
Punk wins, and he takes back his bracelet.
Yeah, with his
It's
dog
happening.
and his dog and his wife. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. But man, this card, like I'm really hyped. I said I wanted Jay to have a match, which I do. But I still think this card as a whole is pretty fire. The least exciting match you touched on it was Bailey and Nia, but I think the outcome afterwards is going to be exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we have it.
There
Fucking
you go.
SummerSlam. Fucking SummerSlam, the biggest show of the summer. We're here already. We're recording this in July. We're almost in August. What happened to this year?
Back to school and everything.
Thank God. I love my son, but he needs to go back to school.
Yeah, facts. Oh man, it's our first kindergartner, so it's like, yeah, wifey's taking it a little hard.
Yeah, yep. That's tough times. I'm my son now in first grade. I'm like, go on now, get in there,
get out of here, kid.
Dual immersion. Come back and teach me Spanish, little buddy. Should we go to the classic match and then wrap this thing up?
Yes, sir. The classic match, Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart, 1991, SummerSlam,
Intercontinental title. Let me set this out for you, okay? Yep. IC match, like you said, Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect. 1991, second match on the card. I think the card opens up with a tag team match, kind of a wonky tag team match. So don't even worry about that. This actual card, if you're a historian of WWE, the main event is Hogan Warrior against Slaughter and Adnan. And apparently a week before this, Warrior had written Vince a note saying, if you don't pay me $55,000, I may not show to SummerSlam. Vince was, and that got out. Apparently Hulk and Slaughter were going to whoop his ass. Didn't happen. Vince said, okay, I'll pay you. Went out there, did his thing, came back. Vince said, you're fired.
Get him out of here.
So, but anyways, that has nothing to do with this match, but I just wanted to lay the groundwork for what was going on at that time. Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby Heenan. You know, a lot of people say JR and King are their favorite. This is my childhood, Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan. You also have Roddy Piper on the call. I didn't love Roddy Piper with those two. I thought Bobby and Gorilla were great together. You got the Fink in there, right? I'm gonna need you to quit yawning because this is a fire match. Stop that shit. And I'm tired too. But yeah, Fink is the ring announcer. This was just the time, man. Two of the best in-ring guys to me. Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect. You had Shawn Michaels in there, a couple other people. Mr. Perfect is so underrated, like in the history of wrestling. And I think it's because he had a pretty bad ending to his career and obviously passed away pretty early. But man, you watch this match, him and Bret are both cut from the same cloth, as in like everything they do has a meaning in the ring. Every pause, every hold, they're telling a story like throughout that match. I think it was about an 18-minute match. But it's good, and you never really lose interest because it's, you know, slow, a lot of moves, bam, 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 slow again, get him in some holds. You got the coach outside, which was like a very short time where that was even a character in WWE. But I just love this match. I love this time period. Love both of these in-ring performers. Bret wasn't quite as good on the mic. You know, he had a promo before it. It's like, okay. He got there later in his career, obviously. But Mr. Perfect was great. And great heel. And I guess I want to know what your take is. I mean, we have the ending, which, you know, Earl Hebner, every time we do one of these throwback matches and he's the ref, he's taking a lot of L's. Earl Hebner's out here just fucking it up. And he fucked up this finish. But the match was amazing. We get a win by Bret Hart. Title moves to Bret Hart. What more do you want?
Yeah, man. I think you summed it up. Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, one of the guys that, like, he's just a wrestler's wrestler, right? And Bret, this is the first time that I've seen this match in a very long time, right? I used to have a lot of the VHSs. This was, you know, I was 3 years old, right? So I wasn't into WWF at the time when it was happening live. but obviously watching tapes, I became very familiar with the Hart Foundation and Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect. And watching this match in 2024, you realize that you don't need a lot to have a great match, right? You don't need the glitz, the glamour. You could tell people in the audience, Bret Hart, as simple as putting shades on a little boy. That's who we want to win. Right then. Yeah. Like, he has the pink and black jacket, just super fly. His parents are in the audience.
Yeah.
They put on a clinic of just good wrestling. No big high fly, no big, nothing super intricate, just good wrestling. A simple thing of Mr. Perfect trying to get away and Bret Hart holding on to his hair and putting him back in a headlock. Run away again. Nope. Get back here.
Yep.
Get back in this headlock. Really dope. Working for that sharpshooter, really, really good wrestling. And then the legendary is he in the Hall of Fame? What's his name? The ref?
Earl, yeah.
He's in the Hall of Fame, right?
He'd have to be.
Yeah, he has to be. Seeing him get in the face, like, you're this close, you touch me again, you do this again, you're out of here, right? Like, just a classic match. And I text you after I watched it, I was like, yo, Mr. Perfect didn't tap.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, right? That's the thing. That's how they blew the ending. I was like, why didn't we get a tap? Because all he's doing is shaking his head, right? Which was what a lot of wrestlers did then, because they had their soul glow popping off, even if that wasn't the right thing for the texture of their hair.
Yep.
He's and then ding 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 ding, and I was like, that was like, are we calling this like this is Madison Square Garden, by the way. Is this like the Madison Square Garden screw job, right?
That's what I was kind of thinking too. It's like, oh, ironic that this happened to Hart.
Yeah.
Yep. So but I definitely recommend people go and watch this match. It's a solid match, and it's funny that you picked a Bret Hart match, because I've been seeing I don't know if it's the anniversary of his death or what, but I've been seeing so many reels and videos of early Owen Hart. And Owen Hart used to go, man.
We have to do a throwback match of Bret and Owen at WrestleMania 10. We have to do that at some point, because that shit, incredible.
Yeah, man. Go check it out. You can watch it on Peacock. Just look under. The Peacock did a really cool thing where you can just click on SummerSlam, and you can go year by year, and you can see every year. 1991 match number 2. It's probably about 30 minutes in to the show. What you think? That's it?
That's it. And that's it.
We are back. We ran long, but we appreciate you. Anybody that has subscribed to the channel, we're still working on getting that thing. You caught us at a weird time. We were working on it, and then
then we weren't.
He had to throw his little juju at me and curse me. So I feel like we're back. I back feels okay. I feel good. I can tell you're feeling good.
Feel great.
Yeah, man. So make sure you follow us on Instagram at @figure4 podcast on Instagram. Be a part of the conversation. Be a part of this growing community. And if you're a hater like Angel and Brian, just keep those shots coming, because one day you're gonna run into us. And you're gonna get pow right in the kisser.
Pow. Pow.
You can follow me at DreRawka, DreRawka. If you want to come watch some MMA fights, I'll be at I was gonna say a bar name too. I won't be there until I'll be at the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City in West Valley City for Fierce Fighting Championship. Learn more at fiercefightingchampionship.com.
And you can follow me on Twitter at DJ Will Wonder. We're getting into the thick of political season, so I'm gonna be talking some politics. I talk hoops as we have the Olympics going on right now, and be talking whatever else comes to mind. Follow March 15th Media on Instagram. There's something going on over there. So I'm gonna say there's something going on. There's actually stuff up there. There's something going on.
It's a creepy page, man. I don't know, man. I'm kind of scared of that page.
Just follow it. Follow March 15th Media.
We out. Peace.